June the 8th, 2020. Roll call, please.
Davis. Present. Schroeder.
Present.
Salee.
Present.
Pearson. Present. Flagg.
Present.
Bennett Johnson. Here. Smedley.
Here.
Madam President, we have a quorum.
Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in a moment of silence before we begin our meeting. Thank you. Okay, agenda item number 6, comments to the board by citizens registered to speak.
We have none.
Comments to the board by board members. Okay. Agenda item number 7, superintendent's report.
Obviously, we're in a different setting than we've been in the past as we are in the midst of working through the changes that have happened. A couple other things that are coming up. Tomorrow evening, we will honor our senior scholarship recipients. Each honoree has been given 3 tickets to attend the event. It will be in the high school gym and social distancing will be in place. That typically has been in the high school cafeteria, and it's where we hand out the scholarships. The graduation plan published on May 5th is still in place. If social distancing is lifted, we will have a full-scale graduation on June 26th. If social distancing has not been lifted by that date, we will then postpone the ceremonies until July 17th. We will follow the guidelines in place at that time. In the event that social distancing guidance has not been lifted, each senior will be allowed 4 tickets to the event. Students enrolled in transcripted courses, and that's all high school courses and then the junior high algebra 1. This is good news. They took advantage of the opportunity to raise their grade by 10 percentage points by doing additional work. High school and junior high students raised 450 grades by continuing their learning above and beyond the distance learning in place. We created that opportunity for them so that we could give them the benefit of the doubt because of the sudden ending of in-person learning. As we talk about things going forward for the next school year, we're working on contingencies where distance learning could look much different than what we saw this spring. This would be in place in the event that conditions warranted closing our schools for a period of time due to COVID-19. I would encourage families that do not have internet in their homes to explore the many options available. There are multiple options in place for low-income families that are greatly reduced in cost, and those are noted on our website, and I would encourage especially families that don't have internet and their students qualify for free and reduced lunch. That is the qualifying event that allows them to get the very low-cost internet service. The next thing, this is a little summer update. The projects, including the Fogarty renovation and secure vestibules at many sites, are well underway and currently on schedule. I posted some pictures taken this morning on social media of things that are going on in Fogarty, and things are progressing well. That's my report.
Dr. Simpson. Agenda item number 8, consent agenda. Do I have an approval? Have a motion?
Madam President, I move we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Davis. Yes. Schroeder.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson. Yes. Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9A, recommendation, consideration, and action upon renewal of financial advisor services agreement with Municipal Finance Services, Inc. for 2020-2021.
This is our bond advisor, and that we've had for 6 years, I believe, with the district, and recommend renewal. 7.
action upon amendment to renew agreement with Clearwater Enterprises for the purchase of third-party natural gas for 2020-2021.
This is on page 151 through 160 of your board packet. There were some key changes to the contract, and so consequently we had our legal team review that, and modifications were made based on their recommendations, and the finished product is before you on those pages. Recommend approval.
Madam President, I make a motion that we approve the agreement with Clearwater Enterprises for the purchase of third-party natural gas for 2020-2021.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis. Yes. Schroeder.
Yes.
Salih.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson. Yes. Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9C, recommendation, consideration, and action upon renewal agreement with Ms. Teresa Ewing to provide physical therapy services for 2020-2021.
This is pages 161 through 163 of your packet, and recommend approval. Ms. Smedley can answer any questions if there are any.
Madam President, I make a motion for the renewal agreement with Ms. Teresa Ewing to provide physical therapy services for 2020-2021.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis. Yes. Schroeder.
Yes.
Salih. Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson. Yes. Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9D, agreement with Kyla Recklin for psychoeducational services for 2020-2021.
This is pages 164 and 165 of your packet. Recommend approval, and Angie is present also to answer any questions on this and this contract.
Do we have a motion for approval?
Madam President, I move that we approve the agreement with Kyla Recklin for psychoeducational services for 2020-2021.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis. Yes. Schroeder.
Yes.
Salih. Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson. Yes. Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9E, recommendation, consideration, and action upon contract with Sodexo Inc. for 2020-2021 for child nutrition services.
This is the fourth year that we've used Sodexo, typically on a 5-year rotation before you go out for bid. And the contract is on pages 166 and 167, and Ms. Chapel can answer any questions we have. Recommend approval.
Madam President, I move we approve the contract with Sodexo Inc. for 2020-21 for child nutrition services. Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis. Yes. Schroeder.
Yes.
Salih. Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson. Yes. Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9F, recommendation, consideration, and action upon temporary appropriations for 2020-2021 for the general fund, building fund, child nutrition fund, gifts and endowments fund, and insurance casualty fund.
This is an annual item that we present before the board at the June meeting that will give the temporary appropriations until our budget is approved. Page 168 is where that is listed, and recommend approval. Michelle Chapel is here to answer any questions.
Madam President, I move to approve temporary appropriations for 2020 through 2021 for the general fund, building fund, child nutrition fund, gifts and endowments fund, and insurance and casualty fund.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis. Yes. Schroeder.
Yes.
Salih.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson. Yes. Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9G, recommendation, consideration, and action upon agreement with North Church, Inc. for facility use for 2020-2021.
This has been an ongoing partnership that we've had with North Church. It's been very beneficial for the district and for the church. where they utilize guests, the Upper Elementary, for their services. Renewal of this agreement will be for the 2020-2021 fiscal year. Contract is on pages 169 through 174. Recommended approval.
Madam President, I make a motion that we approve the agreement with North Church Inc. for facility use for 2020-2021.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson. Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9H, recommendation, consideration, and action upon renewal with OSIG for property and general liability, fleet vehicle, and errors and omission coverage for 2020-2021.
This is on pages 175 through 190 of your packet. We have somewhat of an increase, and probably as much as anything due to some of the nature of insurance right now. But there's nobody else that is standing in line to carry school insurance right now. So we recommend approval with OSIG.
Madam President, I move that we approve the agreement with OSIG for property, general liability, fleet, vehicle, and errors and omissions coverage for 2020-2021.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson. Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9I, recommendation, consideration, and action upon renewal with OSAG for workers' compensation insurance coverage for 2020-2021.
We had an increase in this insurance this year as well. We are working with the carrier to minimize our risk so that in the future we will have less of an increase. Recommend approval, and we will continue to work with the carrier to try and mitigate our risk.
Madam President, I move we approve the renewal with OSAG for workers' compensation insurance coverage for 2020-21.
Discussion.
Madam President, or Dr. Simpson, or Michelle? Yes. So, do I understand that we're still going to work on that, so it may not be an increase of the 14,009, it may be less?
No, not for the 20.
Michelle, would you go to the microphone? Get the podium.
No, ma'am, not for the 2021 school calendar year.
Okay.
It is set in stone for the $14,932 increase. We're going to work with them for next fiscal year to mitigate our risk and make sure we have a
Try and get that down in future years. We've had years that it's been less than because we had good years, and we've had years that it went up because of the similar situations too.
Yes.
A lot of that's dependent upon the claims.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Salee. Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson. Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9J, recommendation, consideration, and action upon renewal agreement with Aurora Learning Community Association for 2020-2021.
This is our database storehouse for test data and with our students as we track them through their educational process. We've had them for several years and recommend approval. Been very successful and helpful for our staff.
Madam President, I'll make a motion to approve the renewal agreement with Aurora Learning Community Association for 2020-2021.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9K, recommendation, consideration, and action upon elementary student handbook for 2020-2021.
Pages 199 through 222 are the red line version of that notes the changes. And this, if there are questions, Ms. Walters is here to answer. Recommend approval.
Do you have a motion for approval?
Madam President, I make a motion that we approve the elementary student handbooks for 2020-2021.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Salih.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Clegg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9L, recommendation, consideration, and action upon Guthrie Upper Elementary Student Handbook for 2020-21.
This is pages 223 through 249 of your packet. We're in the second year of separation somewhat from the elementaries and the upper elementary as far as some of the items. And so it looks a little bit different, and there's been, as we go to our second year, there's some modifications that we've made. Those are noted in red or crossed out, and recommend approval. Mr. Ogle will answer any questions.
Madam President, I got a question. Are these, I guess to Mike or Doug, are these changes brought about internally by admin, or are they brought about by Ms. Davidson? Or they go through legal counsel, or how does this come?
Typically, it's a culmination of the input from the teachers through faculty meetings, discussion with the administration. In the case we have the principal, Ms. Davison, we also have an administrative intern there as well. They collaborate on this, and then they sit down with either Doug or Carmen as how these changes come about. Doug, is there anything you want to add to that?
Okay, I was just curious, if you're some state template, or just going internally off what.
We might look at what other schools do and cheat a little bit at times. If we, when a lot of times when we have a challenge that we don't feel like is addressed in the student handbook, we'll get online and we'll look at what other schools are doing. We'll call other schools and go, how are you handling this? Some things are unique to a community too, so then we look back at what we've done in the past as well. So it's kind of a hodgepodge of how we come up with it.
All right, thank you. Madam President, I'll make a motion to approve, where we at, the Guthrie Upper Elementary Student Handbook for 2020-2021.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Salih.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Clegg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9M, recommendation, consideration, and action on the following appointments for 2020-2021. Michelle Chappell, purchasing agent. Brandy Brown, encumbrance clerk. Jana Wanzer, treasurer. Anita Paul, assistant treasurer. Jana Fry, clerk of the board and minutes clerk. And Carrie Jared, deputy clerk of the board and deputy minutes clerk.
This is required to be ratified by the board annually, and we'll try to always do that before the beginning of the next fiscal year. So recommend approval as presented.
Mike, what is, under Jana, the clerk of the board, is that not the position I hold?
No, she is the minutes clerk, and she serves as a school employee that reports to the board, and that's why she's the liaison with the agendas and things like that.
So she's the minutes clerk?
And clerk of the board.
Okay.
There is a board clerk and then a clerk of the board.
Okay. And then Carrie Jarrett, she's just backup. She's
Mhm.
Jana's backup.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Madam President, I make a motion that we accept the following appointments as listed under Agenda 9M.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Salih.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Clegg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9M, recommendation, consideration, and action to approve a 4-year lease agreement with
This is the renewal of our four-year agreement. We bring this to the board annually for ratification and recommend approval. We've been satisfied with the work they're doing and happy with what they've got for us.
Madam President, I'll make a motion to approve the four-year lease agreement with ImageWorks for district copiers.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Clag.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9O, recommendation, consideration, and action to ratify the lease purchase financing agreement for Oklahoma LED project.
This is a project that we did a few years back and did it on a lease purchase as we transitioned the entire district to LED lighting. And so we bring this to you on an annual basis to ratify until we have the lease paid off. Recommend approval.
Madam President, I move that we approve the lease purchase finance agreement for Oklahoma LED light project.
Second.
Discussion? Mike, will you remind me when is this lease over? I mean, how much?
One more year?
It's 21, 22.
Yeah.
Okay, so one more year on it. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Clag.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9P, recommendation, consideration, and action upon renewal agreement with Frontline Technologies for time and attendance system and ASOP services for 2020-21.
This is an annual thing that we renew with this provider. It provides us with the hourly employees. It tracks their hours worked and reconciles their leave as well. And then on the certified staff, it reconciles the leave and also monitors the attendance and assigns substitute teachers. And so, recommend approval.
Do I have a motion?
Madam President, I'll make a motion to approve the renewal agreement with Frontline Technologies for time and attendance system and AESOP services for 2020-2021.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Clag.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9Q, recommendation, consideration, and action to accept the bid as listed for the Ag Farm for Guthrie Public Schools for 2020-2021. This is Ag Farm mowing, correct? Yes.
We had a glitch when we took the original bids. We had the wrong measurements, and so we corrected those and rebid this and recommend that we accept the bid of Hudson Lawn Care Services as they were the only bidder.
Madam President, I move to accept the bid for Hudson Lawn Care for $200 for the Ag Farm for Guthrie Public Schools for 2020-21.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Clag.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson. Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9R, recommendation, consideration, and action to approve change order number 1 for TCS Construction LLC.
This item includes some housekeeping items with the summer projects, including a deduction of $65,500 for revising the theatrical lighting. That was a condition to accept the bid because we needed to value engineer the project. Since then, we have also were able to cut the door hardware out of the project because the existing door hardware is acceptable, and we saved a little bit of money on the building permit, and so then we have a little bit of an add-on. We've got some wall and floor repair at Fogarty in the office area that needs a little bit more attention. It's about $4,200. It's a classic case of you don't really know what you're dealing with on a renovation, and the older the building, the less you know about what you're dealing with until you start tearing the walls away. All in all, not surprising and not concerning too much to me at this point. We have plenty of contingency for all of this, and so we're actually thankful, and this is actually a total. The net of this is a deduct, so recommend approval.
Madam President, I move to approve the change order number 1 from TCS Construction, LLC.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Salih. Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item number 10, proposed executive session for the purpose of discussing employment of personnel, FMLA requests, resignation, separation from employment, and transfer of position requests, all as set out on the personnel reports, extra duty assignments for 2020-2021, as listed, teacher negotiations for 2020-2021, periodic annual evaluation and terms of employment of Dr. Michael Simpson, superintendent of schools, and engaging in confidential communications between the board and its attorney concerning a pending claim by AT&T Corp. The board having been advised by its attorney that disclosure will seriously impair the ability of the board to process the claim in public interest, and disclosure of which information would violate the confidentiality requirement of state and/or federal law, all pursuant to 25 Oklahoma statute, section 307B, 1, 2, 4, and 7.
Madam President, I move we go to executive session.
Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Salih.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Only items in agenda item number 10 were discussed in executive session and no votes were taken. This shall constitute the executive session minutes. Agenda item number 11. Vote on action is set out on the personnel reports.
Madam President, I move we approve the action set out on the personnel reports on pages 284 and 285.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Salih.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item number 12, action upon extra duty assignments for 2020-2021.
Madam President, I move that we approve the extra duty assignments for 2020-2021.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Salih.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson. Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 13, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve a settlement agreement with AT&T Corp.
Madam President, I make a motion that we approve the settlement agreement with AT&T Corp.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Salih.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson. Smedley.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 14, recommendation, consideration, and action to accept any resignations offered since the posting of the agenda.
We have none.
Agenda item 15, discussion and possible action on new business not known about or could not have been reasonably foreseen at the time of the agenda posting.
We have none.
Agenda item number 16.
Madam President, make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Schroeder.
Yes.
Salih.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Flagg.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson. Smedley.
Yes.